Now it is. Can you hear me? Sorry. The process is this. Hopefully, the city will have a docket ready to bring, and maybe they've looked around and seen who is going to be represented or who at least has the property owner here. I'd like to deal with those first, and all the ones where property owners are not here. Let's kick them off to the end so folks who are here don't have to sit around and wait on us to take care of items where folks are not here. There's two types of case I think I've seen on the docket today. There will be initial code enforcement where we'll hear testimony on both sides. It'll start with the city and then it'll go to the property owner, and we might have some rebuttal by the city and then some rebuttal by the property owner. I'm not going to cut anybody short. I'm going to let every property owner say their piece. Now, we're not going to go back and forth 24 times, but if there's testimony that needs to be answered from both sides, we'll go back and forth several times. We're not going to cut anybody off. We're going to let everybody have their say. And then after we hear all the evidence and all the facts, I'll make a determination on whether there's a violation or not. And I'll also, at that time, give a time for compliance. However many days you'll have to comply. If not, after non-compliance after that many days, a fine will be initiated. The other kind of case we're going to hear are compliance cases. Folks who have already been found out of compliance, we're coming back to hear evidence of whether it's back in compliance or not, and whether those fines will actually be instituted. And if the city wants me to, they can ask that I turn those fines into liens. We record them in the official records, and they turn to liens on not just that property, but any property the property owner owns in the county. The rules of evidence are still the rules of evidence. They're kind of relaxed. It's not like we're in a courtroom. I'm not going to hold, if you're not represented by an attorney, I'm not going to hold you to the rules of evidence that an attorney would be held to in a courtroom. But we're not going to go on about gossip, and hearsay is allowed in this case. And if you don't know what hearsay is, it's stuff that other people have said that where they could be here giving that testimony. Those types of things are allowed, but we're not going to go on with unnecessary evidence. I'll cut that short sooner or later. But again, I'm going to let you have your say. I'm going to let you say your piece so that you don't feel like you didn't have a chance to tell me what you want me to hear about the situation. Are there any questions about the process? All right. If not, then I'll let the city sound the docket. Sure. We won't do that one by one. We'll do it all at one time. So if there's a chance that you're going to testify on any of these, whether it's somebody with the city or somebody who's a property owner that might say something today, I ask that you raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First case this morning is case number SM 2025-007. I'm sorry, I didn't even test this. Okay. Violation number is 2025-0080, City of Newberry versus Antonio Brown. Property is located at 717 Northwest 253rd Street, Newberry, Florida 32669. Parcel number is 02403-006-000, approximately 0.23 acres in size. The property is zone RSF MH2 within the corporate limits of the City of Newberry, Florida, and is not homesteaded. Property is in violation of the City of Newberry Code of Ordinances, Chapter 14, Buildings and Building Regulations, Dangerous Buildings and Hazardous Lands, creating, keeping, maintaining, and allowing the existence of dangerous buildings or hazardous land unlawful. I'm sorry, it just cut off mine. It shall be unlawful for any owner of real property within the city to create, keep, maintain, or allow the existence of any dangerous buildings or hazardous land as defined in this article in or on such real property. Chapter 94, Traffic and Vehicles, Abandoned Vehicles Prohibited. No person shall abandon any vehicle within the city, and no person shall leave any vehicle at any place within the city for such time and under such circumstances as to cause such vehicle reasonably to appear to have been abandoned. The timeline is as follows. On April the 25th, 2025, open a case after reviewing all properties that are currently on a HERA property registry. It's a registry that the city has established with a company for foreclosed properties or vacant properties registry. During that inspection of all the properties, I found an unsecured in-ground pool and 2 abandoned vehicles at 717 Northwest 253rd Street, Newberry, Florida. On May the 20th of 2025, I submitted a notice of violation to the property owner with a compliance date of June 20th to the property and City Hall on that date. On June 23rd, 2025, I received a phone call from Ms. Kim Brown, the wife, advising her husband was deceased. She requested additional time to locate someone to install the fence around the pool. I extended the compliance date to July 13th of 2025. Cutting part of it off, I apologize. On July 14th of 2025, Ms. Brown stopped by the office, advised the fence and 1 vehicle had been taken care of, and she requested 2-week extension for the remaining vehicle. On July the 28th, 2025, I responded to the property for a reinspection and found no fence around the in-ground pool, and both vehicles were still in the same condition. On July 31st, 2025, I submitted a request for hearing. I also posted the property in City Hall on that date. The property is located on the corner of Northwest 7th Ave and Northwest 253rd Street. It's what's in the red right there. This is a photo taken by myself on April the 24th of 2025, showing the front of the residence. Photo taken by myself on April 24th of 2025. I'm driving down 253rd Street. Also taken by myself on April 24th, 2025. In the background there, you can see one of the cars and the pool. Also taken by myself on April 24th, 2025, the 2 vehicles and the pool there. Taken by myself on April 24th of 2025. Taken by myself on the same date, April 24th, 2025. It's a little close-up of the pool there. I took this photo on May the 20th of 2025. This photo was taken July 28th of 2025. Also July 28th of 2025. Again, July 28th of 2025. This photo is showing posting for July 30th of 2025 for the hearing. And this photo was taken by myself today, August 14th of 2025, showing it was still in the same condition. The city's recommendation action at this time is the full cost of prosecution of $150. Compliance must be achieved within 14 days. If compliance is not achieved, assessment of $50 per day will be accruing. Authorize the city of Newberry to abate the property and impose a lien on the property for all costs incurred by the city of Newberry. And Ms. Brown is here today.
Okay, is that all for you now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if Ms. Brown, would you like to come up, please, ma'am?
Good morning.
Good morning.
First of all, my husband is dead. Antonio Brown is my son.
Okay.
That's okay. No problem. I'm not saying that first of all, the cars that are in my yard, one of them, the white car is already sold. Someone bought that from us. He just hadn't had a chance to pick it up yet. And the older school car, that's my son's car that he's refurbishing. And it's taking him a moment, but here or there. I don't know what his plans are with it, but I do know he wants a consent. I talked about it, and he said, no, I'm going to continue to work on it, and I'll get it as soon as I can, my other son. And as for me, I've been fighting for this house for over 20 years because I paid it off when my husband died, and I'm having a problem. So I know this is a situation that I do need to fix, but I spent over $30,000 with attorneys trying to get my house back to me where it belongs. And it's in my son's name, to protect it until I can, get all my deeds and all the information where I paid this house off scot-free. But the thing is, financially, this is really killing me with the lawyers and all that, and I just needed extra time. And I do understand about the violation. I took the water out of the swimming pool, and of course it rains, it gets back in there or whatever. And I almost wanted to cover it up, but then I was told, no, it's worth $93,000 by itself. Because it's one of them old school pools with the 6 feet all the way down to 3. And I don't want to take, my value down of my property by covering it up, because I was this close from doing it. But, I don't want to do that. So I know the city might not want to give me time, and I understand that. But I'm asking for more time to get this done because I'm doing it by myself. And it's really, really hard. Everybody make these promises they're going to help me, and they never do. And I got the money, could you just come, could you just come? No one is helping me. So I'm doing this on my own, and I can't see this being done by me until September the 30th. And I'm not telling you all to wait that long. I'm just telling you what I can do. So now I can try to get it done by the 15 days, but most likely, Judge, it's not going to be done. I'm going to try my best. And that's all I can do, and I have to solely depend on me. And I have a son, but he got his own issues going on with his child support. So it is what it is with that. And he helps me as much as he can, but as of right now, this is where I stand on this issue. And now you said you don't want to hear all this stuff about what people say, but if you go a block away from me, it's some stuff way worse than what I got going on.
No, I got it. So, I got it. I want to, and that's another thing, and I usually say that in my spiel up front, is I get that there are violations. I'm here to see what comes in front of me.
Right.
Now, if violations are being brought, not being brought, that's a separate issue besides what we're dealing with here today. I know that's how it's thought about sometimes, but I can't deal with that.
I got you.
Okay.
But that's where I stand on this issue, and I don't know what else to say and what else to do, but that's where I'm at. And I know it can be completely done by September 30th because I know what I got coming in and stuff that I'm doing. But as of the 15 days, I seriously doubt it. I'm going to try, but I can't see that being done. And then most I can do is just take the water out of the pool, have the guy that bought the car, please come get your car and tell my son what are you going to do with old school. That's the most I can do, sir.
Sure.
There's nothing else I can do.
Is your son, you've talked to him about this, right? He's not here today, is he?
No, he's not.
Okay.
He's not.
Well, let me say this. I think everybody's in agreement that there are violations there. Whether there's more violations down the road or not, I think everybody's in agreement that there are violations there. So the question today is, how much time? I think the fines that she's asking us to enforce are more than fair. We can, if you're a repeat violator, we can fine you up to $500 a day. First time violator, we can fine you up to maybe $250 or $300 a day. I think that fine of $50 a day is more than fair. So the real question today is, when is that fine going to start? We're in violation.
Right.
Let's figure out a good date for everybody, and it's not going to be a half a year away, and it's not going to be probably even 120 days away. Let's figure out a good date for you to say, hey, I can get these cars going, get a fence up around these things. I don't think you have to. I'm not here to tell you how to handle your pool. I think whoever gave you that advice about the pool adding value to the house is correct. I'm not here to tell you have to cave in your pool, but you got to get a fence around it.
Right.
So the day after it rains, when a kid walking down that road wants to go over there and look at it, and his buddy accidentally pushes him in, there's not somebody in the bottom of that pool. I think that's what everybody's worried about. You should be worried about that too, I believe. So they say 15 days. You said September 30th, which is about 45 days.
Yes.
Look, I think 45 days is plenty of time to talk to somebody about coming to help you build a fence.
Yeah.
So
I totally have it done. Don't let this whole makeup and stuff fool you. I'm typically the boy in the family, so it can get done.
Sure.
But I do know that's the time I'm going to need to do it.
Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, I'm going to issue an order saying that the property is in violation. And we'll give you 45 days. That's 45 days to deal with both of these issues, the cars and the unfenced pool.
Right.
After that, literally, day 45, that $50 a day is going to start ticking.
Okay.
If she goes and looks at it the day after that, she's probably going to set it for a hearing that the very next time we come to this is a once a month thing usually. She's going to set it for a hearing.
Okay.
And if it's not in compliance on that 45th day, then the fines will be instituted. And if you get it fixed on the 46th day, there's going to be a fine of $50 and you'll have to pay that.
Gotcha.
If you get it fixed on the 44th day, then we're going to waive the fines. But so we're going to say 45 days, $50 a day after that, and plus the cost of prosecution, which, again, if you come into compliance by that day, the cost of prosecution will be waived. But here's the thing, if you get to that 46th day and she brings it back in front of us here and we turn it into a fine and it gets recorded, it's going to be a lien on the property. And the issues that you talked about having, making sure you got the property free and clear, or son got the property free and clear, they're going to start all over. So, like I said, I think 15 days, I think that's okay, but you're asking for 45. I'm going to be lenient and give you 45. Let's just have it taken care of before day 45, okay?
Sure will. Thank you so much.
Okay, no problem. All right, Miss Moreau, give me just a second.
Yes.
Okay, I think I'm ready when you are.
All right, we have entered into the section of the agenda of noncompliance,
Okay,
and we are at the first one. Case number, Special Magistrate 2023-005, violation number was 2023-04-012, City of Newberry, Florida versus Southeast Perimeter Solutions Incorporated and Rustic Oaks Ranch LLC. If you're all right, Special Magistrate, I'm just going to jump right back, right to the end, reminding you of what your original order was.
okay.
But I have all of the previous PowerPoint, so if you want to review anything, we can go back. I just didn't want to waste your time.
No, I mean, look, we've got an order saying they were in violation as of, which date?
June the 7th.
June 7th. So, yeah, let's deal with what's happened since then.
All right, so as a reminder, your Special Magistrate order was the respondent shall cure the violation by June the 7th of 2025. Pursuant to Florida State Statute 162.09 and 13.4 of the city's land development regulations, respondent was assessed $120 to cover the cost of administering the code case violation. The full cost of prosecution, which at the time you had stated was currently at $1,500, would be assessed. The violation was not cured within the 60 days and no good cause shown at the subsequent hearing. In the event the respondent fails to cure the violations as set forth above, then the fine in the amount of $50 per day will begin accruing on June the 7th of 2025 and continue until the violations were cured. My timeline since our hearing was, the respondents did initiate the building permit number 25-0272 on May the 14th of 2025 and was approved by the planning department on June the 5th of 2025. The permit was issued on June the 23rd of 2025 after the respondents paid the permit fee. An email was sent to respondents on June 25th advising that they could schedule inspection by either phone or through the portal. The respondents responded to the email by saying they weren't ready for the inspection at that time. I had since received an email from the respondents on August the 6th advising that they were waiting for some of the brackets, the angles, to be returned from powder coating, at which time they would then install them and contact the building department for a final inspection. And that's where we're at this stage.
Okay.
And Mr. Pyle is here.
What's the city asking? We found him in noncompliance, I guess is my point. We gave him a date of, what was the date for compliance?
June the 7th.
June the 7th was the date to come into compliance.
Yes, sir.
They pulled permits before or after that date?
After that date.
After that date.
Well, so let me back up. So on June the 5th, it was, they initiated it, and once you initiate the permit, it goes to the planning department for their final review before it's actually issued. So they initiated it on June the 5th. It was approved, correct, myself. They initiated on May 14th. It was approved by the planning department on June the 5th. And the permit was issued on June 23rd. What was holding it up was they had not paid the fees. So it cannot be officially issued until the fees were paid. So the fees were paid on June 23rd. And at that stage of the game, a couple days later, building department was requesting if they were ready for a final inspection, which is all that they needed, as long as the repairs that the engineers requested had been done. And that's what they're waiting on doing the final.
Okay. So what would the city ask me to do today? You want me to go ahead and say the fine's there, we're going to stick him with the fine, we're going to record that order, and he's still got to come into compliance, obviously, but that's going to be not until after these parts are gotten back from whoever's got to powder coat them, correct?
And they have to be installed, and then they have to contact the city for the final inspection.
Okay. So
Correct.
I guess that's my question.
Yes,
That's what you're asking for
Yes.
from me. Okay. So talk to me about the dollar amounts that you're asking for. That would be, as I see different amounts here. There's a full cost of prosecution of $500, but I think maybe this was back when we had our last hearing, correct? On the third, fourth to the last page.
Whatever, is that what the city, but I believe your order, I don't believe you ordered the 500.
Okay. I should have.
Here, I've got it. Yeah, so your order was to assess $120 to cover the cost of administrating the code violation.
Okay.
Could be that the 500 may have been what the city was recommending, but you assessed the 120.
I don't think I would have just come up with 120. But I guess my point is, in this package you provided me today,
Yeah, I'm reading your order. I've got your order in my packet here, and your order was for the 120.
okay, so that's what I ordered. And I guess my point is, this recommended action in your package that you provided me today, this isn't an old recommended action by you.
That was my original
Okay.
recommended action at the hearing. Sorry for the confusion.
Right.
Yes, so originally, we had requested the 500, but you did order the 120.
Okay. So you're asking me to assess the full 1,500 because they were not in compliance with 60 days, and he's going to have a chance to show good cause as to why that's what my order said, I believe, will be assessed if violation not cured within 60 days and no good cause shown at subsequent hearing, and then $50 a day beginning June the 7th. Okay. Mr. Pyle?
Good morning.
Good morning. So, I think you've heard what she said. Do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, we obviously applied for the permit. We tried to apply for the permit earlier. We called the city. There was no, on their website to apply for the permit, there was no code for that, our pole barn there.
Right.
So we called, left messages, couldn't get an answer, ended up driving up there, finally got an answer. They had to add it to, talk to David. They added something in there for us to put our permit under. So once that was done, then we applied. Of course, we got the permit issued on the 23rd. Since then, we've scheduled our construction.
That's the 23rd of June?
June.
Okay.
That's when the permit was actually paid for and picked up. So from then, we've got, everything else is done. Been waiting on these brackets to come back from powder coating, special color because the aesthetics of the barn and not wanting it to look like crap, trying to do it the most aesthetically pleasing way we could.
And let me ask, I'm sorry, and I hate to keep interrupting you. Are these things absolutely necessary for it to pass inspection?
Yes.
They've got to be there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So we're waiting on the powder coater. He's promised me that I would have them by Monday, which he's told me for 2 weeks that they would be done, and they're not. So I'm held up by him at this point. He promised me this coming Monday I'd have them. But everything else is done, the roofing, the painting, the few boards that were missing.
Yeah, so talk to me about what else was required when you went to pull those permits. What else was required by those permits to meet inspection? And what have we got done except for these couple things?
Paint the roof trusses, which we've done. There was a few purlins missing in the barn that the original barn contractor didn't install, and then screw off the roofing.
Did you get him to come back and do it? You had to get somebody else?
He's finishing the roofing today.
Okay.
He was 8 weeks out on schedule, so I couldn't get him. Obviously, like me, if you call my electrical company today, I'm 6-8 weeks, period. I can't add any more people, so I called him, and it was supposed to have been done properly when I hired him, right? So I'm not going to pay another roofer to come out and finish a job that I've already paid to do. So he's actually there today finishing the screwing off the roof system properly. So we're waiting on, everything else is done except the brackets, and that's what I'm waiting on is the powder coater to get me those back.
All right, well, and Ms. Moreau may have to help us with this, so I don't have to dig back through this package. Our last hearing on this was when we found them in violation?
I had a hearing January the 9th.
Mm-hmm. That's not when the order came out of, is it?
No.
So was there
Yeah, there was one in
March 13th? Correct, March 13th.
March 13th, and
We
this,
got the engineering done, and we had to wait on him. And then once we got the engineering finalized, I called Mike Driscoll. Oh, I'm coming, I'll get it done. Never showed up, never sent me drawings, never gave me a price. Messed around with him for a month and a half, 2 months, waiting, hoping that he was gonna do it. I ended up having to hire an engineer out of Live Oak, David Craps. David Craps came out, met with me, went through the project, and then, of course, went back and did the drawings and got me a initial set of drawings, and then, gave me a final set of engineered drawings that I could apply for a permit with what we're taking care of now per the engineer.
did you find my order?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. 12, let's see that.
I just want to, I think you stated, Ms. Greta, that it was May the 13th that they initiated applying for the new permit. You said they got it later on in June, but May the 13th was the day. If he's, this is what I'm thinking, if he's, within days of me issuing that order,
So you issued, so we had a hearing on March 13th. You issued the order on April. So on May 14th is initiated the permit. Department approved it on the June the 5th. Nothing until June 23rd. Now, as far as the engineering documents I have stated that
do we think that that's
and that's what we've been utilizing as that this plant is what went into his permit. So if there's another engineer.
do we think that
David
that's a,
Craps was the engineer that I used.
do we think that that's a typo? Was he dealing with your piece of property back in 2024?
We received this then. This was
Yeah.
actually received.
So this was on the original, yes, back then, we originally, because we had submitted for a permit back in
Okay.
2024 and never got issued.
Right.
Well,
The
it
city
got-
never issued it.
Never got all the documents didn't get updated.
Right.
And then it sits there for,
I have the emails where I sent the old building official and asked for a response and never got a response from Scott, which was the previous building official. And I have all those emails that I can send in.
Well, here's my thing. My order was issued in mid-April, right? I think that's what you just said, April 13th. April 8th.
April 8th.
Okay. And then he's not waiting around. I gave him 60 days, is that correct? Or 30 days?
June 7th.
60 days.
June 7th. So I gave him 60 days, and at the very least, the beginning part of May, he's trying to get up here and get stuff moving. And, I don't want to say whose fault it was, his fault, the city's fault. I think there's probably fault to go both ways as far as long as this is taken to get done when they were telling you the first time around that it had to be permitted. But since my order at least, I think he's made efforts to get it done. If he's got one more step, I say at the very least, I don't think I'm not gonna make that $50 a day start kicking as of June if all he's waiting on is somebody else to get him his parts. And that leaves,
I plan on having this done by September 1st at the latest.
right, so that leaves me to say, hey, if the inspection hasn't happened and we're not in order as of what date is that $50 a day gonna start kicking? You tell me September 1st, and I'll take your word for it.
Yes, sir.
That doesn't deal with our cost of bringing this to. Give me just a second. Let me get this in here before I. And September 1. And again, so the city's asking for all $1,500 of that cost of bringing it to code enforcement, correct?
But it's not about money.
Well, I mean, look, they have to pay me to be here. They're not trying, it's not a revenue generating scheme. They've still got,
$38,000 out of pocket right now in attorney fees with this.
I got it. I understand. Like I said, the city's got to pay me to be here. They got to pay Kirsten to be here. They have to pay the code enforcers to enforce the code.
Yeah, we pay taxes for that.
Well, I don't want to get into
Yes, sir.
a political.
But it's
a political theory discussion with you, but if you had one neighbor that caused millions of dollars worth of code enforcement, and I'm not saying that's you, but if you had a neighbor that caused millions of dollars worth of code enforcement costs, you would be up here standing on your head about, hey, our tax dollars are having to pay for this Yahoo over here. And like I said, I'm not saying that that's you, but the reason that the statutes have the ability for them to to recoup the costs of prosecution is just for that scenario, is so that the everyday taxpayer doesn't have to pay for the folks who don't stay within code. Give me just a second. So what I'm gonna do is split that baby right down the middle. You say it's 1,500. I'm not gonna say that that's excessive, but I'm gonna say $750 can be recouped by the city, no matter the date of compliance. There's gonna be a $750 fine, knocked down from the 1,500 that they're asking for. And as long as this comes into compliance as of September 1st, we won't start clicking that $50 a day on top of that. Okay?
Yes, sir.
That's going to be my order. Give me just a second.
You're fine. We're gonna, when you're ready, we're gonna jump to a different case because we have someone here.
Okay.
Nope. Sorry, the one after that. That label number 4. Yes, thank you.
All right. Tell me which one we're going to.
All right, we are only jumping down to number
Not 005.
4, 006.
All right. So we do have somebody here, you said?
Correct.
Right. Yes, ma'am, whenever you're ready.
All right. Special Magistrate Case Number 2025-006 was originally heard on February the 13th of 2025. Would you like to review any of the PowerPoint, the original PowerPoint?
Yeah, show me
You want the order?
mind. Just the date of the order.
Of your order? Okay. Oh, I got that in my case file. I don't think I have.
So I can know where we are, and all these pictures that have dates on them, I can know where we were before my order and after my order. Not that there looks like there's been,
So, magistrate order stated that they would cure the violation by June the 7th of 2025. and pursuant to Florida State Statute 162.09 and 13.4 to City and Land Development, the respondent was to be assessed $120 to cover the cost of administering the code violation, full cost prosecution. Oh, no. No, that's not right.
So tell me what that number is.
Yeah, let me get the order. I apologize, that was Rustic Oaks, I got it. I did not make that correction. Respondent shall cure the violation by March 19th of 2025, 30 days from the special magistrate issue of the order. You did sign the order of February 19th of 2025, so that was the 30 days. Pursuant to Florida State Statute 162.09, a fine up to $50 per day may be assessed if the order was not complied with until the compliance was achieved. It was further ordered that the respondent would pay $150 to cover the cost of the prosecution. Cost of prosecution shall be waived if the property was in compliance by the deadline above.
And that deadline was,
The deadline was
March.
March 19th. Sorry, don't look at that.
okay.
March 19th.
All right. Okay, so if
Okay.
you want
So
to show me where
the-
we're at.
Yes, sir. So since that point, demolition permit was pulled, number 25-0141, on March the 12th of 2025 and was approved on March 17th of 2025. The permit was issued on March the 18th after the respondents did pay the permit fee. The mobile home was demolished sometime thereafter. However, since June 25th of 2025, there's been no progress on the cleanup of the property. There's photos here. I took this photo June the 2nd, showing that there was still, they had removed the upper portion of the home, but the frame was still present.
I'm just
Sorry, can you
going to
not
turn
see?
one of these towards me
Okay.
so I can see it a little bit better.
So this was just showing the progress of the demolition. June 25th, the mobile home itself has been removed, but since this point, the debris is still on the property and there's been no progress since then. There's piles of wood, some black bags with some debris inside of it on the property. There seems to be in the left side there, I think it's a appliance of some sort right there. There's some material in the back portion of the lot that's still present. That's a little closer up. It appears to be maybe a refrigerator or freezer on the property. These photos I took this morning showing the same items still present, and there's been no progress since then.
Okay, is that all you have?
Yes, sir. And there is someone here,
Okay.
and it's not Ms. McNeil, obviously. Her husband, you want to come up and speak? Thank you. Unless you have any further questions.
I may, but not at the
Okay.
moment.
Afternoon, Your Honor.
Yep, can you give me your name, please, sir?
Robert McNeil, the husband,
Okay, so this is your wife's property?
our property.
It's in both of y'all's names? Okay. Okay, can we agree that the property is still in at least the condition she
Oh,
took?
no, it don't look like that. But it's just some trash bags left to pick up and some glass. And I have a friend that scraps metal, and he wanted to come get some of the rest of the metal that's over there. But we applied for the permit, and it got issued on 3/18th, and the violations are for stuff for a building, and the building's already gone. That's what it says the violations are for on the paper.
Well, no, the violations, the code that you violated was the hazardous lands, and all of this stuff still constitutes quote-unquote hazardous land under the definition in Newberry code. But I guess I want to get back to this point. She's saying these pictures are taken this morning,
Okay.
and you're telling me that
It's just some trash bags, yeah, and that wood right there.
the
That's
trash
plywood.
and there's a washing machine or a dryer or a refrigerator or something, there's some kind of white goods
Scrap
still
metal.
on the property. Is there a plan to clean all this up?
Yeah, my friend wants to scrap all that metal. That's just I live around the corner from there. I be over there tinkering with stuff and all of that. It's like,
All right, well, we're not, you
Just
can't,
put a
in a
dumpster
residential
there, put it all
area,
in there.
right, but in a residential area, you just can't keep that scrap metal in your yard. You gotta do something with it. So I guess my question is, I'm deeming this, if those are the pictures from this morning, unless you've got something to tell me that that's not the way it still is, it's still in violation. And same question that we had in the previous one, how long do you think it's gonna take to get that stuff off of there? Well, and if somebody took the mobile, why didn't they take that stuff with them, I guess would be my question. But,
I didn't wanna
yeah, it's
give you
got,
the
it's gotta go, I guess is my point.
I don't want to give you the long drawn-out story. We bought the property in June 29th last year. We had a squatter there for 3 months that I let him stay there because I felt bad that he had lost his house that I had just bought and his children.
Sure.
So I let him stay there for a month to have a plan to move because I have a heart. But he didn't leave, so I took the electricity off and he still harbored himself there for 3 more months. And then he left. And then I applied for the permit to demo.
I got it.
It took a while. And then I just got back from Europe for a month, and the company that I paid, it's a guy in Bronson, he tore down another trailer for me a couple blocks over, and the trailer at the park across the street from the church. He broke his back, and his machine is broken. So he didn't do none of the work while I was gone in Europe this whole last month. I came back and the mess was still there. I contacted him, and he's just giving me the runaround. I'm gonna just put a dumpster over there and put all the stuff in the dumpster.
Okay, so talk to me about how long, and it's not gonna be long, because it doesn't look like there's a whole lot to do to get this unhazardous.
There, pay more money and just put it in the dumpster.
So tell me, how long are you asking for, would you ask for to be able to get all that done?
Couple weeks, 2 weeks.
Okay,
Just get a dumpster and put it all in the dumpster.
all right, so my findings and facts based on this and based on you telling me that all that stuff is still there, is that the property is still in violation?
Look, I don't never, when the violation was issued to me, that it said it had to be done by February, but then we had a demo permit. So what was the violation for if we filed for a demo permit? That was the point of us applying for the demo permit, is that the house and the building was in so many violations and disarray.
The violation was that the property was a hazardous property, part of which was constituted by the mobile home. But this stuff that's left from the mobile home or whatever can't just stay there.
This wasn't the initial violation.
This,
This is new.
it being a hazardous property was the initial violation.
Of the building. The building's gone. This is the new violation.
Well, I'm telling you that this is not staying like this. It is still, as far as I'm concerned, hazardous property under the same code we were violated under before. This has got to go. Now, I'm trying to give you some leniency here and say, hey, let's,
absolutely right.
if you're telling me 14 days, I'm going to give you 14 days to have it cleaned up. We're not going to say that the $50 has been clicking since it's looked like this. $50 will start clicking 14 days from now if it still looks like this. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
But the paperwork specifically says it in there, the violation for that building. In the paperwork.
Well, the code that was cited to me is hazardous lands and buildings. I mean, we can look at it. It's I think it's
Yes, Your
chapter
Honor.
14 of Muni Code.
I have it, I can
Okay.
read it. It's Chapter 14, Buildings and Building Regulations, Article 6, Dangerous Buildings and Hazardous Lands, Section 14-334, creating, keeping, maintaining, allowing the existence of dangerous buildings or hazardous lands unlawful.
So, I mean, whether you think it was the building or whatever, we can both agree that the property can't stay like this. I'm giving you time to go ahead and get it cleaned up. I don't want to kick the can down the road and say 60 days from now, let's get it cleaned up so everybody can move on. We're not going to fine you. I'm going to remove the fines unless still in 14 days from now it still looks like this.
The demo permit gives me some leniency to take my time to do that, right?
14 days is what I'm saying as of today. 14 days from right now, it's not going to look like this anymore. It's not going to be a hazardous land as defined under that code, or she's going to set it up for the next hearing. And the $50 next time, if it's not cleaned up in 14 days, even if you think you can have it in a day or two, that $50 from 14 days from now is going to be clicking. Okay? Anything else?
No.
Okay. Well, then that's my order. There's going to be, like I said, 14 days from now, which will be August 29th, $50 a day will start accruing. Okay, thank you, sir.
All right.
One second, Miss Greta. Okay. Is there nobody here for this one?
Correct.
All right.
We're back to number 2 on the agenda, case number SM 2025-005, and it was originally heard on February 13th of 2025. City of Newberry, Florida versus Erica Solano and Elizabeth Scala Thod. And this was, just a reminder, this was a shed that was built in the backyard without the permit. And I'll just skip to your order if you're good with that.
Okay.
Your order read as the respondent shall cure the violation by April 19th of 2025, 60 days from the special magistrate issuance of the order pursuant to 162. The fine up to $50 per day may be assessed if this order is not complied with until compliance was achieved. It was further ordered that the respondent was to pay $150 to cover the costs of the prosecution. Costs of the prosecution shall be waived if the property was in compliance by that deadline. After the hearing that was originally heard in February, myself and the building inspector, Tony Carpenter, we did visit the site and met with both of the sisters that own the property, as well as the husband who built this shed. Through the conversation, I recommended, and their problem apparently, as they state, was finding an engineer. I did recommend that they give David Krapps a call to assist. He seems pretty receptive and a little faster than some of the others. On April the 21st of 2025, I sent her, Miss Erica Solano, one of the sisters, an email asking for an update. Her response was that they were still trying to work on the drawings and needed more time. I granted an additional 30 days at that stage. On June, still heard nothing for a couple months. On June 25th, I requested an update from the respondents, at which time I was forwarded a professional service agreement that they had just signed on June the 16th with North Florida Professional Services. On July 31st, Michelle Romero forwarded a letter from the senior structural engineer, David Krapps, dated on June 26th of 2025, indicating that one change to the structure must be made for the structure to be sufficient for the design loads of the 2023 Florida Building Code. And I'm going to present that to you at this time as Exhibit A.
is this what we were saying was
So,
unpermitted? I could have
Yes.
swore it was bigger than that.
oh, it just probably looks bigger in my
Okay.
photos. Do you want me to go back so you
No,
can
no,
see
no,
it?
I mean, I just, the structure's a structure. If it's unpermitted, it's unpermitted. But I could have swore the last time I was, and it's been months, so I just thought that it was a bigger structure than that.
Well, most of my photos too are from the.
From the angle,
standpoint
right.
Of the street, so.
Okay.
It's a little difficult. So the date that it was received, on July 31st, the building department permit technician, Michael Booth, responded back to them and forwarded them an owner building affidavit, as well as requesting a site plan from them in order to complete the after-the-fact building permit, which is still right now in a reference mode. It's not been issued because of documentation still not being submitted. So at this stage, they have not forwarded that information back, so the building permit still has not been issued.
So we're waiting on something from them?
Yes, the building owner, building affidavit, and the site plan in order to even issue the permit.
All right.
And that was done on July 31st.
So you're asking for,
Asking for what you originally ordered, which, $50 a day from the April 19th deadline, and $150 assessed for the cost of prosecution.
all right, so they're not here. That's what I'll order. Now, look, this doesn't preclude them from coming back in front of me and asking for a recommendation to go to the city to lower those fees, but the date was April 19th, so $50 a day since April 19th. Like I said, if she gets you what you need in the next 2 weeks, and you're all, you don't have to be all right with her coming back. She can come back here and ask me for a recommendation. I can't lower it once I set it and y'all record it. The city commission has to lower it, but she comes and pleads her case and says, well, these are the reasons that I didn't get it as of April 19th, and I'm convinced, I can recommend to the city commission that they can lower whatever liens on it. But as of today, I'm issuing an order. She's still in violation, $50 a day plus the $150 cost of prosecution.
And permission to assess the lien.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, when I finally say that $50 a day is a fine, pretty much every time I'm doing that. And if I don't say it out loud, you remind me.
Okay.
It's permission for you to take my order, record it, and it becomes a lien on not just this property, but whatever other property they own in the county.
All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir, that's all oh, I'm sorry, nope, I have one more thing.
Okay.
So when you're ready.
Just a second. Yeah, every order I issue is going to pretty much say, if you guys choose to record it, it's going to be a lien, so. Did y'all get a copy of that did you give that to them?
No,
Okay, well, they need that too. If you can
I
make,
think I've got the copy.
okay. Yeah, give them that copy just so I can
Yes.
have it with my stuff.
Yes.
Okay?
All right, sir, on the agenda, we're going to jump over to old business, please.
Oh, business.
And I do not have this for PowerPoint since I'm just reading it for the record at this
Okay.
time. This is case number SM 2025-001, City of Newberry, Florida versus Matthew and Kimberly McElhaney. Just a reminder, this is a gentleman with a boat parked in the front yard. So,
The claimed flower pot? or-
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Got it.
The boat has been removed. The violation has been cured. However, fines are still outstanding at this stage. They come to $7,850, and the lien is still in effect. But the violation itself has been cured.
Okay.
Just wanted to read it for the record.
All right.
I will be submitting affidavit of compliance after hearing and have it recorded.
All right. Anything else?
No, sir.
All right.
And the
Anybody?
next hearing, I apologize, next hearing is scheduled for Thursday, September 11th, 2025 at 9 a.m.
September 11th. You say 9?
Correct.
Anybody else have anything? All right, then we'll stand adjourned.